Welcome students. This is our second class of social studies. Previous week we studied about the first chapter of the same subject, and today we are going to study the second one. The second chapter is about the sources of history. Okay, so in this chapter we will study about the different sources of history. So let us start. The page number is 16. But before starting the chapter, can you see a box is given just like the previous chapter? One box is given there. That is, this picture shows two sides of a coin. In the box, there are two pictures of coin and they are showing the two sides of a coin. And there are some fill in the blanks where you will have to write down the information. Now in this video, I have done the fill in the blanks part so that it will help you. And you will do it in the book only. You will do it in the book only, not in the copy. Please remember. So, the fill in the blanks, it's about the coins. Okay? Now let us start. What is the first one? The country it belongs to. So you will have to write down the names of the countries from where these coins are belonging. Okay, so the first fill in the blanks, what you will write there? You will write India. The second one, the value of the coin, it is a 1 rupee coin. We can see that. So you will just write down 1 rupee. The year in which it was made. So the coin is showing that it is made in the year 2002. So you will write down that only 2002. Next one is the languages used. So can you see there are two languages in which some words are written on the coin. The first language is Hindi and the second language is English. Okay. So we will write down Hindi and English. Clear? So that's all about the fill in the blanks. You will do it in the book. Next one. Let us start the chapter now. Various sources of history. Like this coin that you have just seen, coins of earlier times also give information. We can get information from coins of old days. They are clues that tell us something about the past. Clues means hints. So those coins used to give us hints about the past. Coins and other such clues are called the sources of history. So these things are called the sources of history. Clear? Many things have happened and millions of people have lived on earth before us. They have left many different types of clues. So there are a number of hints available for us. And all those are given by the people of age-old days, of the past days. And those clues or hints are helpful to understand the life of those people of past time. If there are many sources, many clues, historians get a full picture of that period. So after studying these clues, after going through all these hints, historians used to get a lot of information of the lifestyle, of the incidents of those periods. If there are just a few sources, we get only some idea of that particular time. We learn about the past only through the sources of history that experts have been able to study and understand. Okay? So the historians, the expert people, if they can study and if they can understand what clues or hints we are getting from those sources of past, it will be easy for us to know the life of that time. Is it clear to all of you? And we will have to go through all these sources to know about the incidents of the past. The more will be the sources, the more will be the information. Clear? Now, let us move to the next page, page number 17. Here, can you see one chart is given on the top of the page? Yes, the main sources of history. So, We will discuss now the main sources from which we can get the information or the clues or the hints. What is the first one given? The first source of history is coins. We have just seen the picture of coins. Then artifacts and monuments. We will discuss this one also. Then written material, handwritten materials of old days. And last, the fourth one is oral sources. Okay, so these are the four main sources of history. So we will start with the first one, that is the coin. Coins give a lot of information. Okay, coins give us a lot of information. The name or picture on a coin tells historians which ruler or king had the coin made. So from the name that we can get on the coin or the picture of the coin, it helps us, or the historians mainly, to know about the ruler or the king, in which period this coin was made. So we can know the name of the king in whose period this coin was made. So we can know the name also and the time also, which period also and whose period also. Clear? The date tells them when he ruled. So we will know about the timing of the period. The writing on the coin tells them which language was used at that time. Okay, like this coin that we have written today, the languages are Hindi and English. So years after, when people will get this coin, they will understand that during this period, the people of this country used Hindi and English language. So from this coin, they will get this information. In the same way, we used to get a lot of information about the language of the previous days' coins. If the coin is made of gold or silver, they learned that the kingdom was wealthy. Clear? So now we can see the picture of the coins, right? The earliest coins were not very well made. They were not very well made. They were just bits of metal with deep marks. Coin making got better over the centuries. So after so many years, coin making got a better condition, a better position also. Okay. Now the coins we are getting, they are well made, well built. But in previous days, coins were not well made. Now we will go to the next point, that is artifacts. Okay. So same page, page number 17, artifacts. Things made and used by earlier people are called artifacts. So what is artifact? Artifacts are the things that are made or used by earlier people. Household goods, things made of clay like dishes or toys, jewelry and coins are some artifacts that have been found. So these are the things that are found of previous days, not only of today. So previous days, household goods, household items, different type of household items, and clay-made dishes or toys, different types of jewelries, and also coins that we have already known. These things used to give us a lot of information. Okay, and these things are the examples of artifacts. The study of such artifacts and of the buildings of early times is known as archaeology. Okay, an expert in archaeology is an archaeologist. So who is an archaeologist? An expert in the study of archaeology will be considered as an archaeologist. Okay. Let us go to the next page. Page number 18. Can you see the picture of the clay toy from ancient Greece? Yes, we can see it at the top of the page. Now, from artifacts, archaeologists learn how people lived in earlier times. So, they know about the lifestyle of the normal people, ordinary people. For example, a clay toy with wheels tells archaeologists that the people knew how to use clay to make toys. They can also guess that the people may have had vehicles with wheels. Okay? Very often artifacts are buried underground. Sometimes they are buried underground. And archaeologists uncover them by digging very carefully. They had to be very careful. Otherwise, those things that they are getting after digging, that thing or those things will be damaged. And that is why some cases they also used brush just to be very careful not to damage the item. In some places, they have found whole towns buried underground. Okay, the entire town was buried underground. It went underground due to some different type of reasons. Clear to all? Okay. Now, can you see the picture of the site where archaeologists used to work? These type of places are the areas from where we will get different type of information which will be given to us by the archaeologists. Now, people have also left behind buildings which can still be seen. These historical buildings are called monuments. I hope all of you know a number of names of monuments, isn't it? Lots of monuments are known to us. Right. So the most famous one that is coming to our mind is, yes, Taj Mahal in our country. But there are so many others also. Okay. People have also left behind buildings, and those buildings, historical buildings, are called monuments. Historians learn a great deal from such monuments. So historians used to get a lot of information from these type of monuments about the architecture, about the fascinations of the king and the queens, about the lifestyle of normal people from the picture that is depicted on these type of monuments walls. Okay, lots of information we can get from these monuments. Now look at the box, red box, where some information is given for you. About 1,900 years ago, the town of Pompeii in Italy got buried under ash from a volcano. So there was a volcanic eruption, and due to that, the town was buried totally. When archaeologists uncovered it, they learned how the people of that time had lived. So when finally the archaeologists uncovered, what did they find? They learned how the people of that time used to live their lives. What was the lifestyle? Okay. One more picture is there. The pyramids of Egypt. Can you see? Yes. It has been standing for over 4,600 years. The writings, paintings, and artifacts inside the pyramids, they tell us a lot about the ancient Egyptians. And here our most favorite and most important, most famous Taj Mahal. It is where it is? It is in Agra. And it is also nearly 400 years old. Okay? And it is decorated with precious stones, which tells us that the ruler who built it was very wealthy. Who was the ruler that time? Shah Jahan. Okay, that was the name of the ruler. And he was a very wealthy king. From the stones that we can find in these type of monuments, in Taj Mahal actually, we can say that the ruler was very wealthy. Let us now move to the next one. Written records. Written records means handwritten material. They are writings from early times. Sometimes these are in a language like Sanskrit that people can read. Many ancient Indian books are written in Sanskrit. So many famous Indian books of ancient times are there which are written in Sanskrit. Can you see the picture? In page number 19 we are now. Can you see the picture of an example of Sanskrit writing? Yes. But sometimes ancient writings are in a language which nobody can read. In such cases, experts have to work very hard to understand the writing. So it takes a lot of pain on the part of the experts to finally find out what is actually written in those type of writings. Okay? It is like trying to read a secret writing, like a decoding it is. Now, written records are of different types. But before that, you can see another picture in the same page, page number 19. That is the writing of the ancient Egyptians. After a lot of work, experts were able to read this. Okay? So we can get two examples from this page. Now written records are of different types. Sometimes a king or someone else in his court. The people, court means the people around the king. They wrote about his rule, about the procedure of the rule that was prevailing that time in that kingdom. How the ruler ruled his country. That was written by the people of his court. Now two examples are here given. Let us discuss that one first. A page from the book called Babarnama. Can you tell me the name of Babar? Have you heard it? The name of Babar? He was a famous king of our country. Okay. Now Babarnama, that Babar wrote, the king himself wrote. In it, he says that he became a ruler when he was only 12 years old. Just a little older than you people, isn't it? Now, Babar loved nature. He has described the animals and plants of India. Such paintings are also sources of history. So these paintings are very important sources of history. Okay? Can you see the picture? Yes. Peacocks are there, and one tree is also there, and some animals are moving on the tree like that. And this side there is another picture, same page, page number 19. There is the picture of Yuan Sang. Have you heard the name Yuan Sang? Okay. Now he came to India from China more than 1,300 years ago. Why did he come here? He came here to study Buddhism. Now what is Buddhism? Buddhism is a religion that follows the teachings of Lord Buddha, who had lived in India. His writings give a lot of information about India of that time. So from the writings of Yuan Sang, we can get a lot of information. Can you see the picture of Yuan Sang? Yes. Now this is how we know a lot about Indian rulers like Babur and Akbar. Now we are moving to page number 20. People who were not rulers wrote about their lives or about the times in which they lived. Some foreign visitors wrote about the places that they visited. Many visitors to India described the things that they saw. Their writings are an important source of information about India's history. Okay, so from these writings we can know a lot about the history of India. Now the next one is religious books. Religious books also give some idea of earlier times. For example, the Vedas, and pronounced as Veds, and they are the Hindu religious books. They are written by early people called the Aryans. They help us to understand how the Aryans lived, the lifestyle, how they lived, we can know from these books. Written records are also found on rocks, stones, or metals. These are called inscriptions. Very important. Okay, all of you underline inscriptions. Written records which are found on rocks, stones, or metals, they are called inscriptions. They give historians information too. We have learnt about the great Indian ruler Ashoka, who was born over 2,300 years ago through such inscriptions. So from his inscriptions we can know about him. So that's all. Can you see the pictures of inscriptions? Yes, both of them are the pictures of inscriptions. Next is oral sources. The last source that we are going to discuss. Oral sources. Now which are the oral sources? Stories, then songs, then poems, then folk tales. These are the oral sources. When your family talk to you about their early life, your grandparents, they used to talk about their early life. You learnt a part of your family history. So you also come to know about the childhood, about the school days, or about the college days of your grandparents. Right? Similarly, people have told stories verbally. Verbally means orally, about their lives. These are called oral sources. Songs, poems, or folk tales that tell us about people's lives or of historical events are also oral sources. So all these are the examples of oral sources. From these, historians learn about things which may not be found in written records. There is so many information which you can only get from the oral sources, not in the written materials. Clear to all? Now, the need to preserve sources. Do you think that it is very important that we should preserve the sources from where we can know about the history or about the past days? Yes, it is very important. We learn about the past only through the sources of history. Every source can tell a story. By looking at sources carefully and trying to understand them, archaeologists and historians get a picture of the people and events of the past. This is why everybody should realize how important it is to take care of all historical sources, because that is the only mode of connection from us to our past. Okay? Now page number 21, the last part of the chapter. Archaeologists, historians and other people all need to look after historical sources. All of us, we should be very careful about all these historical sources. For example, in times of war, museums that preserve a lot of historical sources are in danger. In wartime, they are in danger. They can be destroyed anytime. People who worked at such museums at that time hid their artifacts and brought them out again when peace returned. So what they will do, those who are the workers in those places, they will hid their artifacts. They will hide the artifacts. Okay? And if they are hidden, it can be preserved. It can be restored again, and then again they will be brought out when the peace will again prevail there. They preserved knowledge for us all, because that is the source of knowledge for us all. So I hope the chapter is clear to you. Now we will discuss, go to page number 22, we will discuss the exercise, and this part you will do in your book only. I am repeating again because you are doing regular mistakes, and these mistakes cannot be accepted every time. Every time you will not tell me, ma'am, by mistake I have done. Okay. What is book work, you will do in book. What is copy work, you will do in copy. Don't jumble up. Now, the first thing, exercise, page number 22. Fill in the blanks. Can you see? Yes, the first question. Fill in the blanks. What is there? Copy the following table on sources of history in your notebook and complete it by filling the blanks. What will come in the first blank? Coins. Can you see it is written on your screen? Coins. The next one is given. First is artifacts and monuments. Now in this group, what will come? In artifacts and monuments, first will be toys. In the first blank, A, you will write toys. In B, it is written jewelry. And in C, you will again write coins. So all of you write it down in the book. In the book. Now the third one. Third one is written records. What will come in the first blank? In A, writings of rulers. Okay. In B, writings of foreign visitors. Clear to all? Just see and write in your book. In C, religious books. In D, it is given inscriptions. Let us move to the next box. What will be the first one? Number 4, first one. What we will write there? Oral sources. And among the oral sources, what are the points? First one is stories. Second one, B, is songs. And number C will be poems. All of you will write it down. Now we will move to true false. Let us take the first statement. Old coins are not of much use to historians. Is it true? No, they are very useful to historians. So it will be a false statement. You will only write down true and false, nothing else. That also in your book. Archaeological remains may be above the ground or underground. This is true. Number 3. The writings of Babur and Hiuen Tsang have given us information about India of earlier times. Very true. So write down T in number 3. 4. We cannot read Sanskrit in which early Indian books are written. This is false. We can read Sanskrit. Number 5. The Vedas help us to understand how the Aryans lived. This will be a true statement. So you will write down T. Number 6, last one. We should look after only those historical sources that are important. False. We will have to look after all of them. All of them are equally important. Okay. Next question. Let us move. Match the following. First one is oral sources. So, which will be the proper match for this? Stories, songs, and poems. Number 2. Monuments. What will be the match for this one? Number C. Old buildings of historical interest. So you will write down 2 beside it. Number 3. Artifacts. This is number B. Things like dishes and tools made by earlier people. Okay. Number 4. Archaeology. What will be the match for this? Number E. The study of artifacts and monuments of earlier times. So you will write down 4 beside this. And the last one is inscription. You will write down A will be the match for it. So you will write down 5 beside A. That is writing on metal, stone or rocks. Clear? Let us move to the next one. Choose the correct answers. First one. The earliest coins were not very well made and were beautiful gold and silver coins. It will be were not very well made. All of them were not gold and silver coins. So the correct one will be were not very well made. Next is number 2. Buried artifacts can be dug out by gardeners and have to be removed very carefully. What will be the right statement? Have to be removed very carefully. Number 3. Written records are always easy to read or may be difficult to read. So we have already known it may be difficult to read sometimes. Right? So that will be the correct option. And last one, number 4. Oral sources are carefully written down and only told verbally. So what will be the right option? Only told verbally. So that's all about this chapter. I will give you the question answers for copy work. But all these that we have discussed just now, all of them should be done in the book only. Okay. So read the chapter thoroughly. Read all the objective type and big question answers, all of them thoroughly. Okay. And all of you stay well and take care. Thank you. Bye.